the man, the supposed Ivy Leaguer who shot United Healthcare CEO, and they put him up like he's an assassin, which he did kind of somewhat similar dress to some of these assassin characters in these games, right? Well, it has the community divided. Some people are going, no, you don't shoot somebody like that. That's some comedy bullshit. And some people are going, he's our new hero. I think it's tragic. It's sad, but I can very well understand why it happened. And I'm not saying I would do something like that. I would not, because whoever does do such a thing throws their life away, and it's probably not going to put a dent in what the healthcare system is doing or the
Yeah.
government is doing.
I mean,
But I
that
fully
goes
get why he did it.
one.
Any system in place that brings death upon its people, and it is this healthcare insurance, they're going, you're denied. Oh, what, we didn't tell you halfway through your cancer treatment? Or, oh, get this is something they just started doing. If your surgery goes beyond a set amount of hours, I think it may have been 8, I'm not entirely sure, but if it goes beyond a set amount of hours, you get no more painkiller. You get no more anesthetic. It's like, well, we have to keep them asleep for the operation. Nope, their time's ran out. They got to wake up now.
Oh my
Operation over.
God.
Either you do it with them awake and in pain, or the operation's over. So I
Oh my
get
God.
I get why it happened. Any system put in place that brings death onto its people should be answered with death. That's the philosophy I can agree with. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm not a dumbass,
Yeah.
but I understand it.
Yeah, me too.
And it is
Well,
indeed class warfare. Well, it's against everybody, but particularly the poor.
oh yeah.
Now, the fact that he was an Ivy Leaguer really says something. But here's the thing. Oh, I've got more information on it somewhere here. I would have to take some time to find it. Okay,
But
while I do that, speak amongst yourselves.
well, the thing is since he was an Ivy Leaguer, he don't know the damn trials and tribulations of the poor people when they have to go in for surgeries or cancer treatments or anything like that. I mean, most of the time, the poor people in the cancer places, they get looked over. They don't get the medicine like they should, and they end up dying. That's a fact.
And nobody really looks after anybody that doesn't have the big money. They just kind of glaze over them. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole situation is just crazy all around.
But I can't believe they're now just, if a timer runs out, letting people just wake up
Okay,
in mid surgery.
NBC News attempts to fearmonger by implying suspected United Healthcare CEO assassin took inspiration from Among Us, which is a video game. After discovering that the suspected assassin of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson played Among Us, NBC News has attempted to imply that his violent act was in some non-specific way, shape, or form inspired by his previous playing of the popular party game. So, once again, they're trying to demonize games.
Oh,
Of
that's so
course.
stupid. I've played that game. It's a silly, funny, cartoonist game. I've played that game many times before.
The gunman managed to evade police for several days, even going so far as to taunt them by leaving a backpack filled with Monopoly money for them to find in Central Park. Now, I do find that funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
Upon his arrest, he was found in possession of a a 3D printed gun, a silencer, multiple fake IDs, including a passport, a handwritten manifesto, and a Faraday bag, which blocks radio signals such as those sent between a cell phone and a carrier tower from being either sent or received by any device inside, containing a cell phone, 8,000 USD in cash, and 2,000 in various foreign currency. This bag has allowed prosecutors to charge him with criminal sophistication, which I don't know. I take it because it shows he planned to flee to another country, but he claims this stuff was planted.
Okay.
And there's more to that. I'll get to the more.
Did he? I wonder if he had any military training or intelligence training or anything like that, because that's what that sounds like.
Actually, he had a very busy social media life. He was all the time taking pictures. He was like always doing something for the community. You know, highly educated. It would seem he came from well-off, rich family. I don't know if he actually had any military support, but right off, it doesn't look like it. I mean, from what little knowledge I've gleaned from it so far,
Okay,
which
because
there may be some truth. Okay, there is some speculation in the pictures, right? They got a picture of the gunman shooting, then the picture of him in McDonald's shortly after. His jacket had pockets on one picture, but not in the other. There are some discrepancies there, which should be discussed, that are valid. And
oh,
Hmm.
okay,
so there is a good chance that it is just being pinned on him here.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, n- not a lot of people know how to make the devices that he had in that they found in that backpack.
Yeah, I mean, he would have to devote, possibly years to this, to even achieve all of that, and the whole deal, right? It would
Yeah.
take a lot of planning and a lot of scrounging and more.
So I mean, it sounds
Okay,
to me like they're just pinning it on him.
to further what I was saying, that it may very well be pinned on him. This is him being taken in a police station. But before I play this, there has been a highly unusual amount of photos of him. It's like another photo of when he was caught, and there's been like, I don't know, 20 of those such photos. Have you ever heard of such a thing? And in one of them, it appears he's pissed himself.
That
That is
Well,
odd.
something is weird about that. Really weird.
Okay,
Down, down.
Oh my God! That's completely out of touch, and it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience, I believe he said. It was a little bit more to it, but I believe that's the part I caught. So it sounds like, I don't know this, but it sounds to me like he's implying that they know they got the wrong man and it's insulting the intelligence of the American people.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it seems
definitely.
like to me too.
Yeah,
Okay, I want to hear everybody's thoughts on it.
Yeah, it seems like that's what he was trying to say. Is that when you say someone is insulting someone else's intelligence, it usually implies that they're lying to them. So that's the only thing I think of what he meant by that.
it seems like they did plant the stuff and just blamed it on a silly video game, which wouldn't probably be the first time. I can't believe they're trying to pull that.
And if they are lying about it, why are they lying about it?
I don't
Well,
know. That is
I would
weird.
think I would think they shot somebody over insurance and big money, some of the biggest money in the world. I think there was a lot of rich, very, very super mega rich people that demanded justice and demanded it swiftly. And they delivered by any means necessary. That would be my take on it.
Well, if they've pinned this on, if they have pinned this on this man, they'll never find who really done it.
Yeah, if they did, I mean, for that matter, it could have been a, I hate to say it, but it could have been an inside job. It may have not been a message for and from the people. It could have been set up to look as such.
Okay, this is a bit of a conspiracy theory, but you said he was very active on social media, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot help but make a kind of a long connection. Okay, he was active on social media. Smash JT is active on social media. He gets arrested for murdering somebody, and it doesn't look like he did. And I think they're starting to target media, social media creators. That's what I
Well,
think.
it well, I doubt it because he was active on social media, but he was an Ivy leaguer. He was in the elite class. He was highly educated and so on. Generally speaking, he's the kind of person they want to see. I mean, I think maybe he was a bit too clever for his own good and he was a bit too vocal about it, but it wasn't enough for them to be like, we got to put him down, like a
Well,
dog.
well, yeah, but what if he ran into something that he wasn't supposed to know about or
I,
something?
I think, sure, they will eventually come after social media people like us. They will eventually. But they have the means to where they don't have to use covert operations to do it. They'll just be like, you said hate speech, like the UK is doing. Cops visiting you. We're here over something you said on this day, and there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
You said something about a, a trainee, and and
Yeah,
and that's close enough to tranny. So off to prison you go.
but what's got me thinking about this
Choo choo
is
choo.
he had all of those he had those devices, or he they said he had those devices in that backpack. No regular person's gonna know how to create something like that.
No, but he was a extra smart person. He would have known if he had done the research.
Yeah, I suppose it's true.
I
I'm
mean,
guessing.
okay, let's say hypothetically that he is innocent of the crime. Um, well, he did make for the perfect fall guy if he is indeed innocent.
Showtime now. More time for shows.
But
You don't have to howl about it.
I can't get over there. Stop it. But yeah, you are right. I mean, he made the perfect fall guy. If if that's what's happening.
This is the footage of it happening.
Hmm.
Now, supposedly, that was a 3D printed gun. I find that doubtful, but it could have been. I don't know much on it. But because 3D printed guns oftentimes shatter on use, that to my knowledge. And
Yeah, I would think so.
secondly, you would have to go through a whole lot more trouble than add a silencer. And third, whoever did that wasn't that concerned about getting caught.
That's what I was thinking. I
He
mean,
could have walked swiftly up behind the man and looking like he bumped in his shoulder while he shot one off.
yeah,
You
but
know, I mean, if it was like, oh, I'm a sneaky assassin, that wasn't no sneaky assassin there. That would be a sloppy ass assassin.
this the person that shot him, they didn't care. They just did it and walked on down the street.
You could speculate both ways to the end of time, and you wouldn't come up with anything solid, unfortunately. But
True.
if nothing else, is good for food for thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
It brings out the inner detective in people. But
And
I,
you know, if you did do it, you don't even have to have been planning it for months to get the fake IDs and passports and figuring out where he was going to be and when. That takes a lot of time.
I mean, stuff like this always tends to bring out people's inner detective, but
That's why we have people heavily into true crime stories, and I get it. I feel the appeal. I will occasionally go down a rabbit hole a little bit, not heavily, but I get it. Eventually I'll start to go down the rabbit hole of true crime, but eventually it's like, oh, this just makes me feel like shit. It's disturbing. I don't want to feel that anymore. Eventually.
yeah, that the same with me. I mean,
Which
every now and then,
the things I generally cover could be deemed as negative. I'm talking about woke stuff and how it's bad. And that makes me feel that way too. But I try to counterbalance it with comedy. And
yeah,
hopefully someone out there is laughing at the things I say in a positive way.
yeah.
I know I catch enough hells like you this, you that, and you. I've been called a grifter as if I've made a penny.
We don't, you don't make any money. How the hell can you be a grifter if you
This
don't make any money?
this is what I have. I have friction.
I mean,
You
yeah,
don't even have
they
two
don't
pennies
know
to run together.
they don't know the word grifter, what it means or something, because how in the hell can you be a grifter if you don't make any money? That's stupid.
And bigot and all such things as like, oh, if they knew my life story, uh there was points in my life I would have been called a far left extremist. There's points in my life where I was surrounded by blacks and gays without, and I'm straight, I'm not black, but I was never like, ew, get away from me. I never had an issue until they were like down with white people and straight people, and putting it in your face at every turn and every opportunity, like like Jehovah's Witnesses knocking at your door.
Yeah, yeah.
Until they got extreme with it.
Well, I've said this before, and I will say it again. I remember when the term woke first started, when they first started saying it. And at that point in time, it was a good thing. But what it morphed into was something horrible. I mean, it just morphed into this gigantic monster that's just hurting people now.